Come rain or shine, online or offline, we are here speaking to a person, speaking to somebody who is an expert in a particular topic, who in his or her own way is trying to change the world we live in. In this journey of 293 weeks, we have had people joining us from across the globe. In fact, every continent of the world has been represented on the Bloom Talk show. You heard that right. Yes, includes Antarctica. We had a scientist friend who's been to Antarctica twice and every other continent. We've had speakers, trainers, coaches, athletes, politicians, you name it, doctors, trainers, everyone, every part, everyone who is doing their little bit in helping change the world we live in, making life just a little bit better, has come on the Bloom Talk show. Continuing that series in that tradition, we have a very special speaker who is joining us today, Mr. Avil Noronha. He is helping make healthcare affordable and accessible through something different which he is doing, of course, which he will be telling us. So, what I will do first is I'll just read a few lines about Avil and then we will ask him to tell us what he does and we will take the session ahead. So, Avil is an accomplished professional with an MBA in customer relationship management from Symbiosis University. He has certifications as a customer service trainer from Telephone Doctor USA. With over 2 decades of work experience, he's worked with the Munich RE Group across international markets, including the US, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and India. His extensive background includes managing call centers, implementing operational reports, queries, providing data-driven analysis, and data-driven analysis for decision making and delivering customer service training and employee development. A performance-driven leader, Avil combines his vast experience in customer service, project management, and strategic leadership to drive success and innovation in every role. He's founded Medicon India with a vision to make healthcare affordable and accessible for all of us. He has a network of 300 plus diagnostic centers currently present in Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. Let me ask Abhijit to take over and introduce one, start talking with with Avil, and we'll take it over just a little bit later. For whatever reason,
So,
I seem to be getting stuck in what I am saying. So, Abhijit, please take over.
Good afternoon, Avil. It's a pleasure and privilege to host you. So, with your MBA background,
Mhm.
and when I see Munich RE, I believe Munich RE would have been in reinsurance, right?
Right. Munich Re, it's called Munich Re. So it's
Yeah.
reinsurance.
Yeah. So, knowing the reinsurance business also, so
Mhm.
with your background, how did affordable healthcare happen?
Okay, so I started my journey with Munich Re at that time in India. So in India, they had a company called Paramount, which was the largest TPA
Okay.
to give their health cards.
Yeah.
And domestically, they are still one of the largest ones, TPAs. But at that time, they were coming up with an international arm, and I joined them at that time, and then eventually I was the director in the Paramount Healthcare Group. Uh, so there we were introduced with a lot of in terms of any new entrants, because at that time India had a little liberalized policy in terms of foreign investment. So Munich could enter as a direct insurer in India. So
Okay.
if you remember at that time we had two companies that came up with, which is Apollo Munich and
Yeah.
HDFC Ergo. Ergo
Yeah.
and Munich being the Munich companies. And I was fortunate enough to be part of their team to transition that thing and bring them to India. And that's how my journey started. Having expertise in customer service, because I'm very passionate about serving customers and everything to do with customers. and enhancing the experience of a customer. So my primary role with Munich was when I was in Paramount was handling the customer service department. Eventually, I moved out with them to UAE and then Saudi Arabia. We were going to launch a company there called Saudi Anaya, which is now launched. But I was head of the customer service, making the policies, procedures, how the call center should be, and typically those things. So that was my primary role in Munich. But one thing I realized with my experience in healthcare, the healthcare expenses were just skyrocketing day by day. And be it in any part of the world, if you do not have insurance, these things can really kill you financially. And as you know, in India, we don't have healthcare as a compulsory thing. So
Yeah.
people don't take insurance here, and even if you are insured, you're underinsured significantly. So a family feels that getting a policy of 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs for an entire family of 4 or 5 people is sufficient. But when a catastrophe comes, it does not come with a price, this capping that this much will be your expense. So at those times, it becomes really difficult for families that are dealing with health expenses to manage. So that is something that I was aware of. Having said that, why, if you're okay, I can just share with you why I started Medicon India.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So starting Medicon India, the idea was never about a business decision. Uh, because it just came with a very emotional connection or experience that I had. So in one of the trips so I used to frequently come to India, maybe every fortnight. I used to be back in India. In one of the trips I happened to meet one of my school friend, and I came to know that he lost his 5-year-old son due to a neurological condition. uh, he lost his son not because of there was no treatment. There were treatments, but he lost him because he could not manage the expenses. And that really hit me. So when I went back to my work, though I had a secure job, everything was going fine, this was something that was bothering me. And I knew that I had something that had to be done. And I realized that most of the middle class families in India, they are not just fighting illness, they're fighting the cost of the treatment. And that's when I decided that I should come back and start something to make healthcare more affordable and accessible to everyone, so that no one has to go through what my friend did. So that's how Medicon India journey started.
So thank you for sharing. I think what you're doing is indeed very noble, but how can you make something affordable when the cost itself is prohibitive? So one is you would be dependent on the insurance companies for the premiums, and more or less they are fixed by them. The only good thing is now the 18% GST has been waived off, so that becomes a bit affordable to that extent. But still, how do you go about making it affordable? That a common man also. So there might be some government schemes also there, but we would like to know more operationally how you could do it.
Okay, so see, as we all know that healthcare is really advanced in India in terms of technology and expertise, but as we all know, the affordability is still a major gap.
Yeah.
And so one of the biggest reasons for this is a lack of price transparency. Patients often don't know how much a test or a procedure will cost uh, until the very end. And the system is also very fragmented. There are thousands of service providers and no structured way for patients to compare the quality and the pricing. So, and like you rightly said, the middle class is mostly affected because there is no government schemes or subsidies that they are eligible for. So
Yeah.
So the high medical cost can seriously impact their finances. So more than the availability of healthcare, it's the access in a practical and affordable way is what we thought that we have to look. The gaps that we noticed in this was, basically, like I said, transparency, trust, and guidance. Uh, Patients are often confused where to go, which doctor or hospital or diagnostic center to choose, and whether they are being charged fairly. There is, like I said, a very lack of standardization. So you may have two centers offering the same service, but the pricings are different. And so you do not know which one is better quality, and you're confused. And often in these times the patients take the decisions on their own with their gut feeling, or sometimes they're guided by family or friends to go because they had a good experience. They will say just go there. So we felt that there was a need to create a platform that can simplify this journey for them and act as a trusted guide. So how we work is, in the introduction we said that we are a health tech aggregator platform, similarly like Zomato or like Swiggy. So we don't own any of these centers. We have empaneled them and created a network of close to 300 plus centers with us. We partner with these centers, and with the sheer volume of patients that we send to them, we have negotiated a pricing with them. So, but beyond that pricing, we also focus on the quality of the service. So we onboard only a verified and a reliable partner so that patients don't have to compromise on their care. Uh, like for example, you may, wherever you stay, you may have 5 or 6 centers around you, which will just have, some may just have a pathology lab, or some may just have an X-ray center or a sonography center. We don't empanel such centers. We are not, because simply because we are not able to authenticate the quality of the service. So what we do is we only empanel centers which are full-fledged service centers, which means they might have a PET scan, an MRI, CT scan, X-ray, sonography, mammography, everything under one roof. So this is sheer investment for that particular center of close to about 30 to 40 or 50 CR investments when they do. They have to maintain the quality of their service, because every customer feedback can really impact their business. So that is how we ensure that we only take quality centers under our panel, and we simplify the entire process, right from choosing the right service provider and to ensure cost savings to our patients.
Fine. So, just one quick question. So, are the centers which you empanel basically one which do all the diagnostics, the preventive diagnostics?
So we empanel centers which are doing all kinds of diagnostic services.
Yeah.
Specifically, we are looking into OPD patients, and if there is a daycare procedure. I'll tell you why we do that. Because when we talk about diagnostics, most of the time the prices are fixed.
Yeah.
Irrespective of patients' paying capacity, the centers are not able to change the pricing the moment a
Agree. Yes.
patient walks in. For example, you have to get an MRI done. A routine charge for the MRI is 7,000, and we have arranged that same at the center. We have arranged the same test for 3,500 to 4,000. Now, the moment you walk in, and you may be walking in a BMW, and you walk in, and the center cannot just look at you and say, okay, you have come in a BMW or you've put a lot of gold, we're going to change the pricing to 8,000 or 7,500. These prices are fixed. Okay. So that is why we only deal with OPD. Now, when it comes to IPD patients, IPD is something which IPD, by what I mean is inpatient hospitalization, when you are
Yeah. Yeah.
admitted in the hospital.
Sure.
Now,
Yes.
the control is not in our hands, because once a patient is admitted, it is totally under the the doctor who is taking care of the patient. It is his decision. So we are not able to cap a pricing on the patient. We don't know
Yeah.
how many days of stay will be there. So we, as a company, decided that we will not get into this, because right now that's not our focus. And majority of them who are getting into hospitalization, they have insurances with them to take care of those expenses. Our main concern was the just increasing OPD expenses that patients are feeling. And that's when we decided that this is what we want to focus into. Uh, Few of the centers that we are dealing with dealing are metropolis, suburban. So when we have decided, we have also gone with top-notch pathology labs, which have NABL accreditations, so that patients who do tests are not compromised on the quality of the service that they are receiving.
Sure. So one is, let's say if I'm empaneled with your organization and I go to Metropolis, and let's say Metropolis for its whatever they have the package for n number of tests. Let's say they have a 9999 uniform package, which maybe
Correct.
they have a printed rate chart for everything. For a blood sugar, it's something X, Y, whatever, for whatever tests. Would someone who's registered through you would get a further discount on this package?
Yes, sometimes you are able to get discounts on that. So what happens is, basically how this works is, Metropolis, Suburban, all these big labs have a lot of franchisee models. So we don't
Yes.
encourage, for a patient, they will never understand. They may feel that the Metropolis next to them is Metropolis, but it could be a
Yeah.
franchisee. So we
Yes.
can't arrange a discount on the franchising model, because anyways they have a sharing model with the parent Metropolis. So they can't
Agree. Agree.
give a further discount. So what we do is, for us, any patients who want to use the services have to call us first, and we have
Sure.
a direct tie-up with the head office. So we arrange this from the head office itself. So you may not have to even go to Metropolis. They will come to your home and do the test.
So you would basically be called through. So let's say if I am registered with Medicon, if I have to do some diagnostics, I would call Medicon, tell them what I need to do, and based on my location, Medicon would recommend me a diagnostic center which is the best as far as the rates are
Correct.
concerned, and maybe
Correct.
guide me there. So I get a one-stop solution for all this, which is qualitatively the best and the most economical. Simple. I
Absolutely.
think we need to spread more awareness, because if someone is getting something at an affordable rate, then I think they should be known to all. Now
Right. Right.
we'll do our part to me, Deepak and Pal. Now one is more curious to know, as a career auditor, is how do you do a due diligence of or do you just go by the name? Say Metropolis is a established, maybe NABH accredited. So a lot of these would be NABH accredited. So is that accreditation good enough, or you have further checks? And are you allowed to do such checks?
So
The
what
is the
happens?
pathological center or that center cooperative in giving the
Okay.
data?
So, like you rightly said, as a company, we cannot we are not allowed to do quality checks on anybody. But
Yeah,
there are national accreditations which we go by, because NABL, NABH are not easy thing that
accreditation.
any lab can take it.
Yeah,
So they have to follow a lot of process. It is like doing a Six Sigma or an ISO certification. There are a lot of paperwork that goes in, and they have yearly audits that happen. So, and when we talk about these labs, we deal with labs which have multiple locations, so that we, for us also to maintain contracts with labs and diagnostic centers is little easier. So, for example, Metropolis has pan-India presence. Suburban also has pan-India presence. Dr. Lal Path, you have SRL, you have CRL. These are all national labs. So whenever we want to start, like right now, we are not present in Delhi. But the moment we want to start in Delhi, we know that we have lab partners ready with us anytime. So we don't have to waste our time doing a tie-up with these labs. So that is one thing. So, and when we have a national level labs, the investments are so huge. Most of them are market listed companies. And so
yeah.
again, SEBI regulations also being taken care of. So based on that, we take these centers. when it comes to diagnostic centers, what has happened is with diagnostic centers, since we are only taking a full-fledged center and paneled with us, we don't take small centers because again, like I said, it's difficult for us to maintain the quality checks on these small centers. Having said that, we also take feedback of our patients very much into consideration. Not, I mean, we don't take actions on single feedbacks because experience can vary from person to person, and that is something we cannot decide on. But when there are multiple people giving a complaints, and if we are already communicated the same to the center and the center is not taking care of, we have also blacklisted centers when we have realized that some customer service gaps are followed. So we take this very strictly. We have and with good, I mean, say with some good work that we have done, we are in a position where most of the time the centers, any new centers open up, they reach out to us and we decide whether we want to empanel these centers or not. So we just don't go with emotional, thinking, but we have checklists that we follow, and based on that, we empanel centers.
So, is it right to say that you're something like policybazaar.com, where I can just compare all the rates and just know which is the best one? Or it's something like you have just a list of who are empaneled and then I need to make a choice, or maybe I can ask you, where should I go?
Okay. So we are typically in a broader way, just like Policy Bazaar or Zomato or Swiggy. All of us
Yeah.
are aggregators, and we have multiple vendors. So primarily, this is the same thing that all of us follow. Where we are little different than the others is because in healthcare, every wrong information given can really cost someone's life. So we are what we do is an understanding of every patient of a test is also different. More the biggest challenge is the doctor's handwriting. All of us know that
Yeah.
how educated we are. Sometimes it becomes challenging to understand what the doctor has written, and sometimes it is sadly to say it's in jargons or codes, and you don't understand what these codes are. We have got a team of 15 health professionals who have worked in more than 10, 12 years in healthcare, and we understand most of the codes, but sometimes we also find it difficult. And so we have doctors empaneled with us and we check with them. But primarily, what we do is we have created a call center wherein we expect patients, even if you go online through our website and book an appointment, you will have a manual intervention in between where a patient, when our health expert will call you, will actually see the prescription. Because sometimes what happens is, I will give you a typical example. You went through an orthopedic for a neck pain, and the orthopedic tells you verbally, he's telling you आपको एक MRI करना है, but he has written over there is MRI cervical spine. Okay, now you had, for a lay person, I have a neck pain, and you will call up anybody like us and you will say मुझे neck का MRI करना है. But neck MRI is different and a cervical spine MRI is different. Primarily, they have different diagnosis to see. So if I go based on your what you have said, and I do the booking, and let's say the center over there has also gone ahead and done the test, there will be a wrong result coming in. So that is precisely what we do is, and sometimes the pricing can differ in between these two tests. So let's say if I have given you a rate of neck, and actually when you went over there, it's a cervical spine and the price has changed. So you may feel cheated by us that I have not given you the right guidance. So what we do is, whenever you try to book an appointment with us, we have a manual intervention wherein we'll come and tell you exactly what the test is. If the test is different to what you have selected, we also tell you sometimes the pricing difference between two centers. So some centers have a different pricing structure. It's does not mean that the why we say different is because every center's cost is different. Some may own a center, some may be on rental, some may have recovered their machine payments, so machine is free, debt free. Some may still have an EMI going. Also depends on where your center is located. For example, if you are staying in Goregaon in Mumbai and you want to go in Andheri, the price will be little higher because the land cost is higher in Andheri. And
Sure,
if
sure.
you want to come to Borivali, the land cost is lower as compared to Andheri. So we also give you that figure, especially when there are multiple tests. See, today's time, what happens is whenever earlier when we were young, we used to go to doctor. Doctor would just give us some medicines or tell us get an X-ray done or something. Today, every doctor ends up writing you get an MRI done because the technology has increased. They also want to give you an accurate results. They tell you do an MRI, but these MRIs are really pinching our pockets because it's simply 7,000 or 8,000 gone. So what we tell patients, if patients are able to travel, we give them a multiple options. And sometimes when you have two, three MRIs to be done together and the pricing is coming to 35, 40,000. If we are, let's say you are staying in Andheri and if I'm telling you come till Borivali and I'm able to arrange that same 30,000 MRI to 15,000, even if you come by Ola and go by Ola, you are still saving a lot.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Or the same is if you travel a bit ahead to Danu, then I'll give it to you for 10,000. So
Exactly. Because the cost
I got.
differs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Perfect. Perfect.
we give the options to our patients to decide.
So while you're giving the assurance that while the location is different, the quality is the same.
Quality is always the same or even better sometimes. Why? What happens is over the years, in this field, we have realized what kind of machines are there with which centers. So sometimes what happens is, let's say you went to Kokilabein Hospital for your consultation. Doctor has told you to get an MRI done. Now we exactly know what machine is there in Kokilabein. If you want to do it in Kokilabein, you have to pay a higher amount. You come outside, there will be multiple centers who will offer you the rates, but they will never tell you whether they have the same machine as Kokilabein. They will not tell you. But when you come through us, we will tell you, okay, this is the machine with Kokilabein, and this is the same machine we are giving you at other place. But I'm not saying that the other, if you go on any other machine than what Kokila has, is going to give you a wrong result. No, that's not the case. But as you know, most of the time we face this when we go back to our doctor, doctor will say, why didn't you do it to the place where I asked you to do? Either अच्छा होता है, either better होता है. You understand? So, or we have a better machine. So, instead of, later on the patient feeling that, these things were not informed, we educate them that see, there is no, but it's typically like a megapixel camera. So, for example, Abhijit, you may have a, let's say, 30 megapixel camera. I may have a 50 megapixel camera. Both of us are taking picture of Deepak. Now, will Deepak change in our respective phones? No, he will not change. But what may happen is, okay, I may have a little better brightness on the picture and you may have a little lesser. But because I have purchased a 50 megapixel camera with 1.5 lakh rupees, I may just tell to everybody that मेरा phone अच्छा है
Yeah.
और उसका phone अच्छा नहीं है. You understand? So what happens
Yeah,
is
I got it.
yeah. So what happens is for us to patient should not feel the pinch for it. We tell the patient that this is the same machine that we have outside and this is the other machine. You make a decision which one you want and based on that they can do it.
No, but at a lot of times, if even if you ask me whether if I have to get a test done, I have to get a test done at say a Lilavati hospital, or if I have to get a test done at let's say a Shushrisha hospital, which is a cooperative hospital.
Mm.
Now I really don't know what's the quality of a machine. So someone will be in your own terms as iPhones. One will be using an iPhone 12 and someone will be using an iPhone 17 Max Pro. Now, while
Correct.
you may be clicking the same picture of the same person, कोई picture clearer आ रहा है, किसका नहीं आ रहा है.
Correct.
But in medical terms, would that clearer picture give a better impression or a better print by which a better decision can be made? If that's so, then someone may not risk. It's the same with taking
Right.
a generic medicine. So
Absolutely
one
right.
is when someone comes to you, I believe that assurance is given. Okay, you may do it here or you may do it there. It's a question of eating the same chai. Either you
Yeah.
have in a tapri or you have in a Starbucks or you have in
Correct.
a Taj. Maybe
Correct.
the ambience is different. That's why the overhead cost would be
Right.
different. But
Right.
yes, the chai is the chai. Simple.
Yes. So there are certain tests now where you need an advanced machine, and then we advise them that you should do it on this machine only. But there are
Yeah.
some common tests which are, because predominantly, if I just when we talk about MRI, predominantly in Mumbai, the minimum acceptable standard is a 1.5 Tesla MRI machine, which 99% everybody has the same machines. So we don't
Yes.
have anything less than 1.5 in Mumbai at least.
Yeah.
So having said that, so and that machine does all the tests. But there are some centers who have now recently opened, so they will go for a upgraded one, the 3 Tesla. Now, what happens in 3 Tesla is the picture quality is better, as well as the time taken for the test is less. Now, in a place like Mumbai, where we say where time is the biggest challenge that we have, that saving of time is not for the patient. That saving of time is for the center. You
Yes.
understand? So, the lesser a time I take for a patient, the faster I will do more patients. But who is paying the premium for this? It's the patient who is paying the premium for this. So we explain that to the patient that if sometimes they want to do it on their own as a preventative part, because it is the mindset is changing. Younger people now want to do something preventative for them. So at that time, we do guide them, because if the pricing is not going to be a major difference, for example, you want to do on a 1.5 and you have to pay 3.5, and if you want to do on a 3 Tesla, it's 4,000. Then we explain to them that might as well do it on a 4,000, because tomorrow when we actually go to a doctor in a bigger hospital like Kokilabe, Nanavati, Lilavati, they all have the same machines. So you don't have to repeat that test again. So that is why we explain to the patients in this. Same thing goes for when we have to do a blood test. We could also do a tie-up with a lot of labs and get the blood test done at a very low rate. But what happens is eventually we don't want the patient to feel that when they go back to their doctor, and the doctor tells them that there is no authenticity for these reports. So that's why we go with only reputed labs, so that the reports are authenticated. All the doctors know today, no doctor or even the patient do not know what is a metropolis or what is suburban. Everybody knows these labs. So we don't
Yes.
give
Perfect.
any smaller labs with us, not because they are not of good quality. They may be good quality, but sadly to say that trust is the biggest driving factor in our industry, and the trust builds over time. So these smaller labs have to prove themselves consistently for the next 5, 6 years for them to build a name, and then we can start recommending them also. But we face that dilemma that we can't put everybody on our panel and support them.
So while I know there is one diagnostic center near our house where it's publicly known that it charges a bit lesser than others, and that's why there's a big queue there. So if you go there, you need to wait for about 2 3 hours because, as you said, for an MRI which might be for an 8,000, they do it for 4,000 or so. So there would be people who would not be willing to stand in that queue and maybe be willing to pay a premium. So that could be one reason. But yes, in case they know from you that at 8,000 ka bhi aur jagah hai jahan you
Correct.
can get it for
Correct.
6,000 or so. I think that's a great. So one can, as per his convenience, save time and save money also.
Right.
Now, another question is business wise, has there been any demands from you that while you are suggesting us diagnostic centers, could you also suggest which mediclaim to go in for? Or going ahead, if this is so, which hospital should I get enrolled in? So
Uh,
the forward and the backward integration of your business,
okay.
is that a demand for it? And what's your take on
So
how
yeah,
do you plan to go ahead on this?
yeah, so we've been getting a lot of questions where patients have been asking us about post-test queries. What
Yeah,
should we do? Some of that, what happened? Patients are very inquisitive to know what happened on their reports, and sometimes
yeah,
by the time they meet their doctor, it's going to be another 1 week or 10 days later that they have the appointment. Sadly, most patients don't get to speak to the centers directly, and the doctors over there also does not have time to sit and do consultations. Their
Yeah.
radiologists, they have to do their continuous scans. Unless there is something very urgent, then they would not be talking to all the patients. So they will just, the centers generally guide them to please talk to your doctor and show the report to the doctor. So these patients then end up calling us and asking us, what have, sir, please tell us what can be done. My doctor has given me appointment after 1 week. So very soon we are also going to come up with a virtual doctor consultations where we
Oh,
want to
great.
make it affordable to them at a very small amount that they can get a review of their report. We are also in the way of working with get coming up with our own line of nutraceuticals because now we have realized that a lot of people are lacking in terms of ions and vitamins and stuff like that. So we are working on those lines as well. Having said that, we had also started getting queries for daycare procedures because these were not handled by us because they at least need a 1 day of hospitalization. And so we were not handling these cases. But of late, we are getting these queries also where patients have been telling us that, 25,000 का खर्चा है सर 30,000 का खर्चा है and their family income itself is somewhere around 10-12,000 and they're saying that please work something on it. So our team is working on these things also. So we are trying, what we are planning to do right now is just not create just one thing, but we want to make a one-stop solution for all these things where we take care of a complete package for them. So that's our vision in the next 2 or 3 years to give a whole gamut of services under health sphere.
Great. Before I ask Deepak to take over, I've generally I continue for the first half an hour and Deepak takes over. But this talk was so interesting. I could go on and on. But one last question: is it possible that you could also have a preventive way where you could have someone, let's say if I'm onboarded as one of your customers or app members or the company, so you would suggest a preventive test every 1 month or 2 months or 6 months, what needs to be done, which maybe the diagnostic centers also do, but something from your side, or maybe there could be something that you enroll with us for, let's say, a flat fee of whatever,
Uh,
9999 or 1999, and these are the tests you could get done free throughout and virtual concession. So, is
okay.
there some
So
packages like that, or
So as of now, we had kept the our platform free for everybody, and we have happy to say in 1 year, close to about 1,30,000 plus families have taken use our services. We have given almost into 6 crores into discounts itself to patients.
oh, awesome, yeah.
Uh, but like you rightly said, we have our flagship health checkup plan, which we call the Medicon India Swasthya Care Plan, where we are giving close to 81 parameters of health checks that we do, and we do it at home. We come home and do it, and this is costing around 2,500. We don't expect patients to do this every month or every 6 months, but at least once in your life you should do it, and based on what comes out then you should do the follow-ups. A lot of times patients do not when we have done corporate health checkups and we realize that some of the people we meet, they have never done tests. They say हम तो fit है, जरूरत क्या है. But off late you might have seen videos of in they showing people just standing and suddenly they collapsing and
Collapsing,
falling
yeah.
down. And this is a very scary thing. I remember when one of the celebrity had passed away. I'm not getting her name. That lady who sang the Kata Laga.
Yeah.
When she passed,
Shefali Jariwala, yeah.
Sefali Jariwala. And on that day, I had personally got 10 calls from people wanting to do health checkups. So I was wondering, why are we waiting for such events?
Agree.
Whatever reasons for her death, I don't know, but I'm just saying that people, when they realize a fit person losing life, and then you say that, oh, I'm not taking care of my health. And when we have done checks, we have realized that the person's telling us that, I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I should not have any issues. But as the record says, if you're standing next to somebody who's smoking, you're more likely, more than the one who's smoking, you are more likely to have
Yes.
lung cancer, this thing.
I
So
agree. Yes.
yeah, so once in a while, at least you should do. And if you're a diabetic patient, you should do once in 3 months an HbA1c test. For women, they say that, if you're cross 45, you should do once a year mammography, and once a year you should do a pap smear, or 3 years. But in India, we don't have a concept of preventative healthcare. We wait till the last minute. So much so that we, even if you realize, whenever we have a festival, now for Catholics, Easter is coming. Majority of them will do their test after Easter because they want to enjoy Easter, drink, have make merry, and then they will come for test. When we have Diwali, people don't want to do blood test before Diwali. Let me have maximum sweets, and then after Diwali finish, then they will come for test. So that is our mindset. And this is not just for anybody. This happens in our own house. The same thing we go with. And that is the main problem. If we are able to do tests before a festival, you are being more precautious to what you are going to eat during the festival. So that is what
Perfect.
I want to change.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it was wonderful talking to you. And as we say in Bloom, we have people who are willing to share their experience, expertise, and we all help people. So, as you said, nutraceuticals, there we had one person or a PhD doctor who deals in nutraceuticals. We had one person earlier who was dealing in a health app, which is there. So, it'll be great to connect them with you. I think could, and there are a lot of questions. I think Deepak could also take over subsequently. Yeah,
Sure.
Deepak, over to
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great conversation going on between Abhijit and Avil, and he has explained and answers these questions with such plain, clear simplicity, easy to understand. Let me read out a few questions which are there on the chat.
Okay.
Brenda asks, "What about PET scan? Will the comparison with the old scans be impacted if you do it on a different machine?"
Okay. So hi Brenda. Brenda, I know personally also. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Brenda is our patron saint of Bloom. So everybody knows Brenda.
Okay. So typically, see, if you are doing a comparative report, uh, then I would say that you should carry your old report, because then the doctor can come to know what is your previous condition and whether it's improved or it's worsened.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you're trying to see through a different center that whether the same whatever diagnosis that has come on my earlier center, is it true or not, then better not to share your old test with the new center.
Oh,
Having said that, the machine impacts generally does not happen, because, like I said, most machines almost give the same results. It could be it's are like a weighing machines. You have some machines will give you a little here and there. The difference that comes in is the interpretation by the doctor. So
yeah,
totally depends on which doctor who is doing your reporting. If
yeah.
the doctor is quite experienced. But in cases of PET scans, generally, even if the diagnostic center that has a radiologist, they will always give it to a cancer specialist radiologist.
Hmm.
They also, like I said, all these centers have put in crores of amount in their setup. So they
Hmm.
ensure I would not say there is any center who is doing substandard.
Yeah.
All those who have put in money are really doing a fantastic job in terms. So any error that you might see is purely human error. It is not a neglect. It's purely
Machine
human.
error. It's not a machine error.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking this question, as you know, I'm a cancer overcomer.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I used to live in Powai, and Hirnandani Hospital was where I was. Now,
Correct.
the a very eminent lady oncologist, Namita Pandey, she told me, don't do the PET scan here because mostly these people's machines don't work. So she sent me all the way to Thane. Now I've moved to Bandra. I
Mhm.
don't have to do this regularly. It may be the last time, but so every time I feel that no, I did it there, and she recommended it as a senior oncologist. So then if I have to do it again, then I need to go there only. That's what I'm saying. Now I moved from there. So the doctors also moved in the sense I moved the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I did this only because the doctor, the oncologist in Hirnandani recommended. So subsequently, when I had to do as a regular, I went back. But now, if I have to do one more, as a last or whatever, then it would mean going back to Thane.
Correct, correct. So, ma'am, to answer your question, one, if the doctor herself is saying don't do it at my hospital, then that is something I cannot tell what
I
is
know.
the issue with their machine. But if they're sending it to anywhere else, let me tell you, all the PET scans almost give you 99% same results. There's not going to be difference in results. What could
Okay,
happen
okay,
is while the
okay.
doctor is recommending to you because they may have a better understanding with terms of reporting of that doctor, but the
Mm,
pricing factor why it differs. So there are some companies. So when, as you know, ma'am, in PET scan, there is an isotope that is injected in your body, and this
Yeah,
isotope has a shell life of 5 to 6 hours.
yeah,
So most
I
of
know
the
that.
yeah, so most of these centers who have open PET scans, they can't manufacture this
yeah,
isotope. So they
yeah,
get this as, and when they get this, it is only having 5, 6 hours. So most of the time, PET scan patients are expected to pay in advance so that there is no cancellation that happens and
yeah,
all the other things. But
yes,
centers like nuclear scans, if you have heard, nuclear scans are one of the manufacturers of isotopes. That's why their pricings are lesser as compared to
mm,
other centers. Now we
yeah.
are empaneled with nuclear as a pan-India
So you
representative.
would say, like, now that I'm here, Leelavati Hospital would have that kind of a setup?
No, ma'am. They also import it. So there are the government regulation is very clear on manufacturing the isotopes. So there are very one or two big players like nuclear is there. Then there was Shriji. They used to manufacture it. Baba Atomic Energy manufactures it. So there are very one or two players in the entire India that manufactures this. And so early morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock, these comes in big batches through flights and then distributed to the different centers. That's why PET scans are generally done very early in the
Early
morning.
in the
From
morning,
7
yeah,
onwards, it starts.
yeah,
And so hospitals may, what happens is if there is a standalone center, they are not able to, if there is a cancellation, the machine will get wasted, the medicine will get wasted. So they ensure that you pay deposits. When it comes to hospitals, especially hospital which has cancer patients, they are not that worried on this because there are patients already there. नहीं तो
they
कोई
have a
भी
captive audience, yeah,
yeah, they have an audience, they will get it. So they will
yeah,
not let this
Okay,
get wasted.
okay, okay, okay.
yeah. I think what also Brenda wanted to ask was that if I go and now do my PET scan in, probably in a Leelavati and then compare it with the old scan which was done in Thane, would that be a matching thing, or like if it was you to decide, you would say no, since this is the last one and all 5 or 8 have been done previously in one center, let's do the last one over there.
No,
Yeah, exactly what I'm asking.
yeah. So I would say you can do it anywhere. It should not make a difference as long as you carry all your 4 reports to
Yeah, that
any.
and
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
because that doctor should have a history of what has happened.
Yeah. So one related question, Avil, to this is, people are setting up these centers and putting up these crores worth of these machines.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have qualified technicians to man these machines? And when I say qualified technicians, I'm saying across the city or, across the board. I'm sure Leelavati or a Hinduja hospital or a Bombay hospital or even any other big branded hospital will see to it that they have those qualified technicians to man these machines.
Correct.
These centers, these standalone centers, how does that work? Are they really that good, that qualified? And what is the attrition rate? If I'm good at working a machine at a center, tomorrow if I get a job in the hospital, I'll, want to go and work in that
Yes.
hospital rather
Yes.
than at the center. Yeah.
Yeah. So all these technicians who come to work are they need to be qualified. They have to take a certification in as a technician. That's
Yeah.
one thing. Secondly, what happens is, like you rightly said, that if at all they get a better offer, will they go away? So most of the all the diagnostic except sonographies, which requires a doctor's physical presence to do it because these are mandated through the PCPNDT Act.
Yeah.
Other than that, any other tests generally are done by the technicians and then reporting is done by the doctor. So the
Yeah.
doctor has to ensure that the technician who is doing the scans. So patient may feel it's a doctor who is doing the scan. It's not a doctor, it's a technician. So if
Yeah.
the technician is not good, the scans will not be done well, and then the patient
Correct.
have to repeat the scan. So the
Yeah.
doctors ensure that only qualified technicians are on board. That's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Secondly, most of these, just like us, that there is an aggregator for technicians also. There are companies which are working
Oh,
as aggregators. Like you
okay.
said, if some so centers don't want to waste their time
Yeah.
between these, so they have appointed aggregators, and the moment one goes, the second one is in the line. So
Wonderful.
there is no stop.
Yeah. The other part of what you are doing is, how does Medicon actually make money? Which means you are offering discounts, you are onboarding people for free, you are sending them to places where they can get things cheaper. In the end, you also need to be making money. How does that work?
So our revenue model comes from the center. So we work typically like how a Just Dial would work. So if you want to register your business on Just Dial, you pay an amount, and in return you get leads from Just Dial. So we are
Correct.
nothing but a lead management company for these centers,
Yeah.
and we provide them with patients. So that's how our revenue model is. And since we don't bill anything to the patient, our entire focus is making sure that the patient's test is done. And so what we also do is we do an end to end. So the moment Deepakji, if you, let's say you give us a call and we give you a particular center where this test can be done, the
Yeah.
moment you say yes, we do the coordination on your behalf. So we will call the center, we'll take the appointment, we'll coordinate with you, and then we send you a confirmation message, and if there is any changes that happen, we are interfering. We are there as a middleman to manage. So we don't कि हो गया दीपक जी ने कर लिया अभी हमको लेना देना नहीं. So we don't work like that. So we ensure. Sometimes what happens, there could be challenges for you to get a report because, like I said, the sad part is we always doctor. You went to a doctor today. Doctor has written you 5 tests to be done and told you next week come back with this test.
Yeah.
When will we do this test? We will do it one day before
Exactly.
without even realizing that some tests have a turnaround time. It
Yeah.
will happen as per what you feel. So what
Yeah.
when the pressure comes is इसको urgent करना है, इसको urgent
Yes.
करना है. So
Yeah.
now urgency में the doctor also cannot do a mistake. So I had this recent case that I want to share with you. There was a family that came to me and they said they want to do a blood culture. Now blood culture
Oh.
is basically you keep the blood out to see if there is a growth of organisms happening in that blood.
Yeah.
That is why the
Yeah.
patient is having unexplained fever. So they want to
Yeah.
identify this.
Yeah.
Now, that particular test takes about 7 days.
Yeah.
So they have to keep it under a certain temperature to see a growth is happening or not.
Yeah.
You will not believe, I started getting call from next day onwards. Report क्यों नहीं है? Report क्यों नहीं है? And then the center, because I was interfering, I told the lab at least give us a preliminary report. So because I understand the patient side, because the patient is having unexplained fever and they
Yeah.
want parents, the family is worried. So they are
Yeah.
following up. So we gave a preliminary report which says
Yeah.
that this is, as of now, there is no growth, but the final report will come after 5 days.
Yes.
So they again, it's been like every day we were getting calls. And
Yeah.
there's nothing a magic that a doctor can give. He can't release a report because tomorrow, if it's wrong, he will
Yeah.
be held responsible.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the problem we face. We wait for the last minute to get our test done, and then we expect
Yeah.
that things has to be faster. But we
Yes.
interfere in these cases also. We try and manage wherever possible that you have an urgent report. We
Yeah.
request the center. We try and see if something can be done, and we work it out.
Yeah. I want to take you up on that thing where you said you have that test report for like 2,500 rupees. You can get these 81 parameters done. And all the, big companies offer these packages. And many a times people, even without consulting their doctor, go and get this package done.
Correct.
Because they think, instead of a doctor writing me 5 tests and those 5 tests costing me 5,000 rupees, let me spend 2,000 rupees and get 81 tests done.
Correct. Correct.
And many a times, many a times these doctors say, you know what, all these tests were not needed. And then they will go on to tell you that these package tests are not very reliable. Why don't you go and get this individual test done? So I just want you to reassure whoever is listening to this now and maybe later when this goes on YouTube and other social media channels, that when you get these 70 or 80 or 50 tests done as a package, it is as good as getting yourself tested for that one parameter or five parameters.
Correct. Okay. So, see, there will be a lot you will find in the market which are gimmicky. When I say gimmicky is there will be, I would not name people, but there, you can find on the website, they will say 129 home health checkup from home for 129 rupees
Yeah,
or 259 rupees. Now you
yeah,
can imagine in today's time when a technician who visits your home charges around 200 to 300, how
yeah,
can you do a health checkup at 259? So this is
yes,
nothing but a data capture system that the some companies have developed. They will come to your home, they have
yeah,
got your address, they've got your name, age, they've got
yeah,
your email,
yeah,
contact numbers. They have also seen what is there in your house, and then you will see all kinds of calls coming to you after some time. So we don't believe in all of this. So we
yeah,
have had patients who have called us and अरे ये फलाने लैब से तो हमको ये 250 रुपए में हो रहा है. So
correct.
we said that we can't do in those rates. So we that is one thing. Now, when you say packages are generally cheaper in any centers you go, packages are individually. If you do the test, it's expensive. Packages are cheaper purely because there's a big chunk that comes to the center directly as a bigger amount. So they
Yeah,
give a better discount. Secondly, when we as Medicon India, when we are doing our packages, we do it in bulk. So what happens is when a test is run on a machine, there are certain reagents that are inserted in the machine for the test.
yeah, yeah,
Now, if I do 5 patients test, I will have the same reagent. And if I do a 1 patient test, I have the same reagents.
yes.
So labs, when they get bulk of patients and the same amount of reagents are going in, the cost is considerably down. So
Hmm,
when we do it, when we do our health checkups, we are not in a day, we are doing around 35, 40 health checkups. So
hmm,
and these labs, when we are sending that to the lab is getting from all over Mumbai, for example.
yes, yeah,
So they are getting about 100 samples at a time. So
hmm,
running cost is considerably low, and that's why the pricing goes low.
yeah.
ऐसा है.
Basically, you are trying to assure us as far as the test is concerned, if you would have done it separately as an individual test or in the package, the reading would have still come as the same, right?
It will come the same. So sometimes what happens is, for example, you've been told a vitamin D3, a
Yes,
vitamin B12, and you
yeah,
have told a lipid profile. Now,
yeah. This
MRP of
itself will
this.
cost 3,500 rupees. Yeah,
Exactly. Now the
yeah,
MRP of this is 3,500. And if I tell
yes,
you that I'm going to do this same test to you, plus in addition to that multiple other tests, but my cost will be 2.5.
yeah,
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying because I know there is a package that I can put you into, and in
yes,
that package, all your test is anyways coming, and plus you're getting
yes,
additional tests. So
yes,
there is nothing harm in knowing that there are additional parameters of your body. If they are normal, well and good. If they are not,
yeah,
then at
yeah,
least you will come to know there's something that needs to be worked out. Most of the
yes,
time, these are not major concerns. Like if you may have
yes,
a higher cholesterol, it's not directly mean that it is really serious, but at least
yeah,
a little controlled in your approach of having
yeah,
food.
yes. Wonderful, wonderful. We are coming very, very close to 1:30. It's an hour
Deepak, there
we've
was
been
one
speaking.
question.
Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, there was one question in the chat by Mr. Sansgiri, so you can just
Yes,
read that
yes.
out. Yeah.
Let's read that. Yeah. So Mr. Sansgiri has got two comments. He says interpretation of MRI is more important, not whether Andheri or Dahanu. Yes. So
Correct.
that has already been answered. Senior citizens often require, going and getting an MRI done and other costly checks too. But they aren't allowed any discounts, at these big hospitals. What is the workaround for a senior citizen, who would want to probably save? All of us would like to save some money, but senior citizens probably would be a little bit more interested. So how can you step in and help them?
I would just say just contact us. We'll save it for you. So we are more than happy to help out senior citizens. We are also part of few senior citizen groups where we do these tests for them. So and if whenever we have a bulk, like for example, how the bulk volume works is
Yes,
when we do corporates, like for example, the 2,500 checkups that I told you is for
yes,
individual. So
Yes.
let's say only Mr. Deepak wants to do the test, it will be 2,500. But
Correct.
tomorrow, if Mr. Deepak says it's my society and I have 15, 20 people in my society, so
Yes.
then the price still goes down. So if you have
Yeah.
part of any senior citizen groups
Yeah.
and you are able to give us that count, we can
Yes.
really work, because then our logistic cost is also saved.
Yes.
I don't have to
Yes.
send to 25 places.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can
One or two
definitely.
persons can come up and queue up and take 15, 20 samples together and send it in one batch. Yeah. Yeah. So Payal, it's 1:30. If you are ready with your rapid fire, go ahead, Payal.
Yes, namaste everyone. Thank you,
Namaste.
Deepak sir and Abhijit sir. Thank you, Avil, for gracing the Bloom platform at a very short notice, and a special
Yes.
thanks to our all evergreen favorite Sebi, who introduced such a noble soul to us on the Bloom platform. Thank you, Sebi.
With
I'll
the
Thank you.
kind of
Thank you.
networking SEBI does, I think we can book 100 speakers for the next 100 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and also a very special thank you to all our audiences who are present today to our 293 Bloom Talk Show, and we have very short closing for our 300 talk shows in 7 weeks. So we'll be inviting everyone for the celebration. I'll quickly start with a rapid fire question, Avil. So
Yes,
here my first question goes. One word that defines your journey so far.
challenging.
Corporate job or startup life?
Startup.
Risk or stability?
Risk.
Mumbai or Dubai?
Mumbai.
Early bird or night owl?
I am early bird now. Because after my kids, I've become early bird now.
One habit that changed your life?
One habit that changed my life is for the habit of giving others.
Coffee or tea during work?
Coffee.
Biggest fear as an entrepreneur?
The fact that I may not be what I envision to create an impact that I may not be able to do.
One word, healthcare in India?
Growing.
Mission or money?
Mission.
First thought when you wake up?
Today, whose life I'm going to change.
What keeps you going on tough days?
The purpose that I started this.
One decision you are most proud of?
To leave my job and come back.
One mistake that taught you the most?
Don't blindly trust.
Leader you admire the most?
My ex-boss, Russell Bateman.
Book that influenced you deeply?
Women are from Mars and men from Venus. So that really made me understand the women perspective a lot. Men from Mars and women from Venus.
Yeah.
Define success?
Success for me is how many lives I have touched.
One word, Medicon India?
Discount milega.
Patients or partners? Who taught you more?
Patience.
Biggest milestone so far?
We just recently are going to close a corporate with 60,000 employees.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
One feature you wish you launched earlier?
Feature doctor's consultation.
Virtual consultations, yes or no?
Virtual. Yes.
Affordable healthcare in one sentence?
Paying what is rightly to be paid.
Yes.
Introvert or extrovert?
I am extrovert.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
If not this, what would you be doing?
Yeah.
I would have been somewhere in healthcare only, but definitely in customer service space.
5 years from now, one word.
We will be well known to entire India.
Dream for Medicon India?
To be the #1 platform that people trust for healthcare.
Wow.
One change India needs urgently.
Mindset change for preventative healthcare.
Legacy you want to leave behind.
Let hard work always pays off.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Giver, listener, and always available.
Wonderful.
If your life was a movie, what would it be called?
Aha.
Rangila.
One message to your younger self.
I would say that you should have taken the decisions much before than what it took me time, but I should have taken them.
So deep and profound gratitude, Avil, for gracing the Bloom platform. With this, we wrap up our 293 Bloom Talk Show. See you all next week, next Sunday, with yet another incredible speaker on the Bloom Talk Show for our 294th episode.
Yes. 294 consecutive non-stop Sunday Bloom Talk Show. Join us next Sunday, same time, 12:30. Thank you for joining in and staying till the end. Thank you, Avil, for joining in
Thank
at the
you.
last moment and taking out time on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you next Sunday again. God bless us all.
Thank you. God bless
Thank you
us
so
all.
much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.